What's going on, guys? Back at you again, and let's get right through these picks. And last week, I think we only got two wrong, maybe three, but that's what we're going to try to keep doing every week. Obviously, we're going to have some bad weeks. Not that many, though. We'll have maybe a couple bad weeks, but we're usually going to be steady. Oh, excuse me. And we're usually going to get between, if there's 12 games, we'll get between 7 and 10 wins a week. I can guarantee that. 7 to 10 wins. That's healthy. We want to get 9 to 10, but no less than 7 every week. We're pretty good at picking these games. All right, first game, Denver and New Orleans. I'm going to be out of order. I just write them down on another site and come over here. So I got New Orleans winning because everyone's high on Denver and everyone's low on the Saints. Whenever that happens, I always go the opposite way. All right, next I got New England, Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville winning. Not convincingly, and I don't feel good about it because both these teams are trash, and I think they have the same amount of wins, so it literally can go either way. I'm just picking Jacksonville just because they're supposedly an offensive-driven team, whereas New England's a defensive, so that's the only reason I'm picking Jacksonville. All right, next, Seattle, Atlanta. Picking Seattle because everyone's high on Atlanta now because they're looking good, and Seattle took that loss last week, so I'm picking Seattle. Next, we got Tennessee versus Buffalo. I kind of wanted to go Tennessee here because it's so far-fetched and you would never think it could happen, but it can happen, guys. They're an NFL team. Will Levis makes many mistakes. He's already has an MO and he's a young quarterback. They could flip it around and let him just look like Tom Brady out there, guys. Because, guys, the kid throws a lot of interceptions. It's no mystery. But he has flashes, man. The kid has flashes of being a great quarterback. And then he'll have 3 great drives. You'll be praising the kid, and then he'll come out the 4th drive and throw the ball in like 3 triple coverage right to the other team. And then you'll just be like, what the hell? Where did that come from? You know what I mean? I think Will just loves himself, and he likes to see himself throw the ball. You know what I mean? And it looks like it when he throws it because he's like so mechanical and just instead of just getting the ball to it, it's always got to be pretty, feet set. That's what I noticed about him. So that's one reason why I doubt that they can get it done. But at the same time, guys, be careful. I would stay away from that game. I think that's a trap game. And I think Tennessee can pose a big problem for the Bills. It's just a weird matchup, guys. That's why. It's just a very weird matchup for the Bills. And Will Levis might have a big game, guys. Because the Bills are favored by 10 points, really. So, I mean, it's a lot of points to favor the team. So, and they just traded for Amari Cooper. So, you know what? That tempers expectations more for the Titans. But I'm sticking with the Bills, guys. But what I'm basically saying is this is a trap game, and don't be surprised if Tennessee wins, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say. Next, I got Cincy versus Cleveland. This one can go either way. Both teams have 1 win, I believe, right? So, or maybe Cincy has 2, I forget. So, I don't know. I kind of want to go Cleveland, but Cleveland's been burning me every time I go that way. Watch, though. The one time I'm going to pick against Cleveland, they're going to win. That's how it goes. I didn't pick them their first game, and they won. And then I picked them like a few of the times in between they lost. Now I'm going to pick against them, guys, and they're going to beat the Bengals. I'm terrified of that happening, but I'm going to go with the Bengals, guys. Just because I can't pick the Browns again with how bad they've been playing. But now they're going to play a good game. Watch. And Deshaun Watson isn't going to play. Hey, let me put this out there, actually. If Deshaun Watson isn't playing, let's say Deshaun Watson is not playing, guys, I'll pick the Browns to win the game. All right? I pick the Browns to win if they bench Deshaun Watson. But if Deshaun Watson's out there, I'm picking the Bengals. And that's how I'm going to go with that. So pay attention to that depth chart. And that will determine the game, I promise you guys. I just know how this rigged and scripted stuff goes. Alright, next, we got Houston, Green Bay. I picked Green Bay. Everyone's high on Houston. Not going to spend too much time on that. Next, Miami versus Indy. I pick Indy because Miami is still missing their quarterback, even though that doesn't really matter too much, but you know what I mean. Next, we got Detroit, Minnesota. I'm having trouble picking who can win this, but I'm going to go with Detroit because I need to see Minnesota do it against a really good team. If Minnesota can beat Detroit and still keep beating these really good teams, then I can pick them. I can't pick them, man. I just can't pick them. I still feel like it's a fluke. I still don't trust Sam Darnold. Like, I know Kevin O'Connell is a good coach. He's a good offensive guy, quarterback, all that. I get it, but it's still Sam Darnold, man. And all the things that he's done in the past is still seared in my head. And I just can't forget all the bad plays he's made and all the treacherousness. Can't find my pen. So that's the reason I'm going that way, guys. Yeah, so we're gonna go Detroit. If Sam Darnold can look good in this game and get it done, even against the Jets, guys, he only threw for like a buck, like 20 or something. Like the defense and like they draw up plays where he can get quick passes out. Like it's not Sam Darnold is carrying this team. They're literally a team. They play like a team, and that's how they've been winning. But I'm gonna go Detroit here. All right, next we got Philly versus the Giants. I guess this is another trap game. Like the Giants could win this game, but Saquon's coming back home against his old team. I'm going to go Philly to get it done. All right, next. But one thing I will say, though, the Giants are looking better, and they're finding ways to make Daniel Jones more serviceable, but they still need a quarterback, and he still sucks. Just had to throw that out there. But they run the risk, though, the Giants, if they win too many games, of losing out on one of these top 5 quarterbacks. Like Shedeur Sanders could help them immediately and immensely. Shedeur Sanders right now is way better than Daniel Jones. And you know what I mean? So the Giants just need to be careful here. And that's why I think Daboll is smarter than to win too many games, because he knows if he wins too many, he's stuck with this guy and he's going to get fired eventually. So that's why I'm going to go Philly. All right, next, Raiders, Rams. I pick the Rams to win because the Raiders are in the same boat as the Giants. They need their quarterback. So looking down this list, who needs a quarterback? Some would argue Tennessee, like if they can draft a guy and have him battle out against Will Levis, because Will Levis is still only like 24 and he was drafted last year. But like I don't like the idea of drafting a guy in the first, second round and not giving him like 2, 3, 4 years to develop. Giving him 1 year, 1.5 years, and saying, "Oh, you suck," is just not enough. Especially if you haven't found the right coach and people around him. Like Will Levis makes a lot of mistakes, but he doesn't have a real shot right now. Like he hasn't really been given a good shot with a good team around him. But either way, it's the NFL for you. So Tennessee's looking for a QB. If Cleveland keeps playing like this, they're going to be in the lottery for a QB as well, and Deshaun Watson is just going to be out of there. If they can get say Cleveland wins one game and they have the number 1 pick, they're going to draft a quarterback. They're not that's what they're going to do. Like, you better believe it. And when they do that, Deshaun is in trouble. And I don't even think they can sell him. Like, I think their whole idea is to show that he can still play, but they just can't win games. But they can't win games and he can't play. So it's just really bad out there. I don't know what to say. So Cleveland's looking for a quarterback. Who else? Miami might draft one just because Tua keeps going down. The Giants, the Raiders, Carolina. So that's 6 teams right there potentially that need a quarterback. Yeah, everyone else has a guy or someone they can rely on. And the Jets are a 7th team that could draft someone because Aaron's older, you know. So there's potentially 5 to 7 teams that are going to need a quarterback next year in the draft or however else they can find one. So, and there just aren't enough quarterbacks coming out this year. So, really, in like 2 or 3 years, every team's going to have a quarterback, guys. That it's going to be almost impossible to pick games in like 2, 3 years, guys. So I'm taking advantage of this while I can because I see what they're trying to do here in the NFL. All right, so we got that. So where was I? Oh, yeah, the Rams. I picked the Rams to beat the Raiders. Next, Carolina, Washington. I got Washington winning. Next, we got KC versus the Niners. You know what? I got the Niners winning. I wrote down KC, but I'm switching it to the Niners because they usually make the Super Bowl winner lose to the team that they beat in the Super Bowl. That's the only reason. Like literally, that's the only reason I'm doing it. Other than that, I don't think the Niners are better than the Chiefs. Like in any facet or any imagination at all, they're just not. In a game head to head for the championship, I don't know what team is good enough to beat the Chiefs right now. I really don't. I guess Minnesota would be the runner-up, but do you trust Aaron or do you trust Sam Darnold, in a friggin' Super Bowl? You know what I mean? The regular season's one thing. The playoffs and Super Bowl, Sam Darnold against Patrick Mahomes, you already know who wins that one, the Golden Boy. So I don't know, guys. I really don't know who beats this team this year. Last year was the year to beat them, and guys couldn't get it done. All right. So, KC, San Fran. I picked San Fran to win. Next, we got the Jets, Pittsburgh. I'm picking the Jets to win because they have to, and I don't feel good about it, though. Next, we got Baltimore versus Tampa Bay. I got Baltimore winning. But that I don't feel good about either because Tampa seems to win against the good teams and lose against the bad teams. That seems to be Tampa's MO. So Tampa might win this game, Sunday Night Football. Baker Mayfield standalone game. he plays pretty well during those. So I don't feel good about this. I think Tampa is going to look good that day because they got weapons. You know, they got a defense. They have a legitimate team. They're a legitimate playoff team, Tampa is. And we already know Baltimore as well. All right, last and most likely least, Arizona versus the Chargers. I got the Chargers winning. I don't feel great about it, but I think Jim Harbaugh has a plan to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket and then be more physical and get it done. So that's why I'm going to go with the Chargers, guys. This week has a lot of trap games, like 4 trap games. Yeah, so this is going to be a rough week, but we'll see what happens. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week.